Hey guys, so I'm back with another video, and this is going to be a continuation part 2 of our previous video, this MAUI sequel. So in this video we are going to continue our app. So I would recommend you to first check out the previous part. I'm going to add it to I button and description and pin comment. So in first video we have seen how can we uh, use SQLite database in .NET MAUI. So we have configured it, we have set up, we have created this database context, a generic wrapper over SQLite database. We have all these methods, get table, get all, for basically for all CRUD operations. And then we had created this one model, product model, and we had this products view model, and we have completed this products view model as well with all the properties, commands load for loading product and performing CRUD operations on the product. And in this video we are going to continue our UI part. So let's continue in this. If you remember, in our first part we have cleared everything from here, and now we'll continue. So first thing, let's add this. Let me minimize this. First thing is, in main page.xaml, let's add the view model. So we had this products view model. Fine, then let's add the set this binding context to this underscore view model. So I don't think we need this. Okay, let's remove this. So fine. Now first thing is, let's come here and let's set the namespaces. The first thing, let's add namespace for our view model, and that is going to be view models, and one more for our model. So let's call it models. So this is coming from models. Fine. And then we have added binding context for this page. So let's add this database type, and this is going to be our products view model. So I guess we are good. And first thing, let's change the title of this. So this is going to be SQLite DB operations. Fine. And now let's design this, but before that, let me run the app. Okay, and we'll need, yeah, we need that because we need to populate the products when this screen comes up. So let me add it in on appearing, and let's change it to async version. And after this, we'll simply say await view model dot load products command. Should we use this command? Our view model, where is it? Yeah, this one only. So this load products, we don't need this as a command. So let's change it to public load products async. Fine. On this view model, we'll directly call this method, and now it's good. Okay, let's run the app. So app is here. Now we'll have it here only, and we'll try to design it. Fine. So first thing is, we don't need all this. Let's clean this up and start with a grid. So in this grid, we are going to have two rows First one is auto and second one is star. So first one is for the heading, and then second one is going to be the main data, I mean that collection view and the form. So in this one, let's have a label and we'll say grid.row0. And for this, we'll have a text as products. Fine. And what is the issue here? Specified cast is not valid. What is the issue? Okay, maybe this is my VS is freaking out. Everything looks fine. I can see these products here. So this thing is working, but somehow Visual Studio is not able to get it. Fine. Now next thing is let's design this a bit. So first thing is after text, let's say font attributes bold and font size 18. Fine. Then let's add some padding as well of 10. Yeah, looks great. Okay. Now for the second row. So we'll have a grid for that. And this is going to be grid.row1. And in this grid, we are going to have two rows. So the first one is going to have our products list, products collection view, and the second one is going to have our form, that create product, added product form. The first one is star and second one is auto. So the form, whatever height it takes, we'll give that, and the remaining part we'll give to the collection view. So that is all for this. Now in this grid, let's use the collection view, and this collection view, this is going to be our row 0 for this, and for this we'll have our item source as binding, and we have products collection. Fine. So we have this, and after this let's add item layout, linear items layout. And for this, I'm adding this to have that the spacing between the items. So item spacing 10, and with this linear items layout, this orientation property, this is required. So in our case, this is going to be the default vertical. And now we'll have our item template. This is going to be data template. So maybe let me rerun the app to remove these warning lines. It is taking so much time, so let's try to add a breakpoint in maybe here in load products async and here. Let's rerun. Breakpoint got hit. Let's continue. Okay, table, database, path, and we are here at finally. Something is not right. How? Okay, looks like it is related to some configuration with this one. For now, let's add a breakpoint here and we'll skip this line this time. So I'm just trying to verify if it is related to SQLite or something else. Okay, this breakpoint got hit, and this time we are going to skip this. Something's not right. We can move this debugger point so that we can skip the execution of this line, but it is somehow not working. So let's comment this line out and let's rerun. Breakpoint is here. Let's continue, and app is here. That means it's related to SQLite only. So on Android emulator, I remember in the past I had the same issue at that time. I tried to I tried to research on the internet, and finally I found out there was one property group that was something like uh, embed assemblies. It is not here. Embed assembly assemblies into APK. Embed assemblies into APK. I hope the spelling is correct. True. Stop the app and run the app. So app is working with this change. Now let's uncomment this and try it out. So it's not working with this, and there is one more change. So I think it's good that we are getting these issues so that when you try, you will be able to fix this. So for SQLite, we added this SQLite Net PCL, but the official Microsoft documentation, it says that we should install this one as well, but it got automatically installed with the first one, but maybe it does not work. So let's install this explicitly. Install. Okay, it got installed. Let's rerun the app. So app is here. Let's see if it works this time. It's taking so much time again. Let me debug it. So we are getting this exception. Let me zoom it for you. System.type initialization exception. Type initializer for SQLite connection through an exception. And the exception is, copy this. The exception, let's make it here. So the exception is, oh my god. File not found, could not load file or assembly, SQLite PCL raw.provider. Okay, so for this, sometimes it does not automatically copies the related, the SQLite related files, but with that change we did in CS Pros file, it should have worked. We added embed assemblies into APK with truth, it should have worked. Okay, let me try to debug it. What else we can try? Okay, so it worked. Just stopped it, closed the Visual Studio, rebuild the project, and then rerun it. So it ran. Maybe it was not able to uh, get the value for that CS Pros change. So now it's working and we should be good now. Let's continue. So we were on main page.xaml. We were trying to design our collection view. So collection view is item template. So let's have it as data template, and the type for this is going to be our product model. And in this also we will have a grid with 2 row and 2 columns. So let's have a row definition for auto and auto, and our column definition as star and auto. So the second column, it is going to have those two buttons, the edit and delete button. So we'll give them the whatever width they need, and the remaining part we'll give to the first column that is going to hold the product name and price. Fine. So grid, and for this we'll have a row spacing of, let's say, 5 and a padding of again 5. And in this grid, let's have the first row and first column. So grid.row 0 and grid.column 0. This is going to have our product name. So binding name, and we'll make bold this. So font attribute bold, and then let's copy this, paste it one more time, and this time we'll have it the price. Grid is going, row is going to be first and column 0, and let's make it a little bit smaller. So we'll have font size of 12, and we'll add a string format for this. So for price, what it is going to show, it is going to show us price, this hard-coded string, and then the actual price value. So this is fine. Now we need to have those edit and delete button. So let's have first button, and this is going to be the first row, that is row 0, and the second column, that is column 1. And the text will show edit, and let's have padding 0 and a height of 25, and font size slightly smaller font size, the font size 12. Then after this, let's copy this button and let's add the second one. So it is going to be row 1 and column 1, and let's say del is for delete. Fine. So I think we are good with this data template, our collection view. Now the second one, or maybe before this, let's add the empty view for this. So we'll say collection view dot empty view, and we'll have a content view inside this. And in this content view, we'll have a vertical stack layout in center, so horizontal options at center and vertical options again at center. And in this, we are going to have two labels. First label would say no products found, and we'll have a bigger font size for this, font size 18 with bold font attributes. And we'll have a second label which will say, let's try creating a product from the form below. And we'll have default for this, the styling default, and we can see this. So no products found. Let's move it to center. So horizontal text alignment center. Fine. So this is okay. Now the form, create form. In this grid, we are going to have another item, and that is going to have a vertical stack layout with grid.row1, because the grid.row0 was for this collection view, right? Let's collapse this as well. Yeah, fine. Vertical stack layout for grid 1. And in this, we are going to have, first we'll add one line. So let's have a box view for that. Box view with the color, whatever primary color we have. And height is going to be 1. Yeah, we have this. Okay, now the second one is going to be that form, and that form we have a grid for that again. And for this grid, we'll have two rows with whatever height they need, and with two columns. The first column is going to store the product name, entry form and label, and the second column is going to hold the price. So price is going to be smaller and name is going to be bigger. So we'll have star and auto for this. And for this also, let's have a padding of 10 and row spacing of 10. And let's have column spacing also as 10. Column spacing. Fine. Now in this, we'll have one vertical stack layout for the first one. So this is going to be grid dot row 0 and grid dot column 0. And this is going to have one label with the text, let's say product name. So we'll have this name. And then second thing is going to have entry, and the text we'll use binding for this, and we will use operating product dot name for this binding. Let's add placeholder. So let's say product name, and then let's have margin 0 and padding 0 for this. But we don't have padding for entry. Okay, so this should be fine. Okay, we have name and product name. And next thing is, similarly, we'll have one vertical stack layout for the second column. So row will be 0 only and the column will be 1. This name and product name, and this is going to be product price. And binding is going to be operating product dot price. And for this, we'll have a keyboard type numeric. So this is for the second price thing, product price, product name. Now we need a button. So after this, we'll have a button. And for this is going to be row 1, that is second row. And column, we need only one item in column. So we'll use column span 2. So it takes the entire width. And then we'll have a tag as create product for this. And let's see how it looks. So we have this create product here. Now let's design it a bit. So horizontal options, we need it to be on center only. Vertical options, it is already at end, but let's add it explicitly. Then we'll reduce this corner radius. Let's have it 0. Let's have a small, yeah, this is fine. Now let's have a padding of something like 50 and 0, and this is fine. So we are good with this. No products found, try creating product from here. We have this now. If you remember what I showed you, this thing was having a background color. So for this, we need to have a background color in the container, this grid. So this grid, let's have that background color. It was a light purplish color. So let me check what was that. Okay, so it was CCBFFA. Fine. And after that, these entry boxes, these were again having a light color. So on this entry, let's have a background color of this was DAD1F9. Fine. And the same thing is going to be on this entry. Fine. So we are good with these changes. Now we have this create product as well. So the form is ready. Now we need to connect this form to our view model. So for that, when we are creating this product, we'll bind this create product, this button, to a command. And that command, if you remember, that was save product command. And now if we add something, product 1, and if we save it, we got an exception, and that exception says object reference products view model. What is it? Let's add a breakpoint in save product. Continue. Create. Okay, fine. Busy text. We are here. Originating operating product 1 0 product 1. ID is 1. That means it got saved. Okay, now it is updating because this got saved. And the thing here is this product is null. And why the product is null? Because we never set it, right? Because for the first time we loaded this and there were no products in the database, so this thing was never set to the default value. So let's have it here. We'll say this. Let's rerun it. Is here. Let me remove these breakpoints. Now we don't need these. Load products async and product 1, price 0, edit del. We have these buttons. Now first thing, let's add a little background over this item. So let's go to our XAML, mainpage.xaml. For this, we need to go to our collection view item template, and here on the grid, we'll set a background color of some light grays. So it should be easy, easy, easy. Yeah, this is fine. And we had padding 5 and spacing, row spacing 5 for this. So this should be okay. Okay, now this edit and del buttons. From these buttons also, let's remove the corner radius. Let's have a very small corner radius. So corner radius 2, corner radius 2, fine. And now when we click on this edit, this should, okay, but before this, we need to add validations for this, right? It got saved with price 0. So in order to add the validation, we'll go to product and we'll add our validation method here only. So let's remove a boolean from here and we'll say validate this object, and we'll need return a tuple from here which says is valid and error message if any, and it should be nullable. So we need to validate this object. So first thing, we'll check if the product name, if this is null, empty or white space, we'll simply return it's not valid, and the error message is going to be name is required. Fine. And then we'll add another condition. If the price, if this is greater than, less than or equals to 0, in that case, we'll again return false with a message of that price should be greater than 0. And if both of these conditions are false, then we'll return true with null. That means the product is valid and ready to be saved, and error message is null. So we have this thing. Now we need to check this in our view model before saving. So we are saving it here. So before this, we'll check if our product is valid. So for that, we'll say let where is valid and error message equals operating product dot validate. So if is valid, if not is valid, if the product is not valid, in that case we are going to show an error message, the alert message basically. So shell dot current dot display alert, and this is going to be, the title is validation error, and the body will show error message, and the button is going to be okay. There is a solution explorer, fine, and okay. And after this, we'll simply return from here, because if the product is not valid, we are not going to save it. So fine, if this is valid, and now let's rerun the app. Okay, so the app is here. We have this. Let's try one more item. Without adding anything, let's create product. Let's remove these breakpoints. Continue. And we have validation error, name is required. So we'll save product 2 and again we'll save it. Now we have validation error for price. Price should be greater than 0. Okay. Now let's add some valid price and now create product. So it got created and added to this collection view. So creation is working, and after creating this also automatically gets cleared. That is also working. Now let's implement the edit functionality. So when we click on this edit button, the details of this product should be added to this form. So let's do this. For this, we'll need to go to our button. So we have this button. We'll add a command for this, and this command is going to be, we are going to get it from the parent view model. Okay, so for this we'll use binding source of relative source, and we'll get the source wherever ancestor is of type our view model of our product view model, and then we'll get the path. So that is going to be, what was the command name? This was set operating product command. Set operating product command. Fine. Product command. So same thing, we are going to copy for our delete button. But this time the delete, okay, it requires a product. Set operating product, it requires a product. So we'll add the command parameter for this first one. So this is going to be, let's hide this for now. Command parameter is going to be the complete product, which is the same product. So we'll say binding dot, this means this complete item. And then for delete, let's check the name of the command, that is delete product async. That means delete product command. Delete product command, and for this we have the parameter as id. This is product id. So we'll use command parameter and we'll give this from the current binding. We have this id. This is our product id. So now edit should be working and delete should be working. Let's try. If we say edit, parameter object cannot be type system string. What did I miss? Command parameter this, command parameter this. Let's rerun. App is running. We have this. Let's try to click on edit. And we can see product 1 and 0. And let's try the second one. Now we can see product 2 and 10. So these values are being populated. So this thing is working. And now we need to delete. Let's delete the first one, product 1 with price 0. And when we click on this delete, the item got deleted and it got removed from this collection view. So whenever we are performing these operations, let's add uh, that activity indicator, loading indicator. So for that, we need that loading indicator in the center of the screen. So for that, and do you remember we added that busy text? This busy text, we'll use that. So in this thing, in this the main root grid, we will add uh, let's say a vertical stack layout, and we'll use both of these two rows, grid.row span 2, and let's move it to center, vertical option center and horizontal options as center, and we will display it only if sorry, is visible if isBG is true. And in this, we'll have two items. One is going to be our activity indicator with is running true always, because we are handling displaying of this showing and hiding of this activity indicator from its parent. So this vertical stack layout. If this is visible, then this is going to be visible. If this is not visible, then activity indicator is not going to be on the screen. So we are handling this from this parent only. This is, and let's move these to center also, activity indicator, and then we'll have that label with the text and binding the busy text. Okay, and same thing, vertical center and horizontal options at center. Fine. Now let's see if this thing is working. If I create this product, okay, then this is again a problem. We are not actually creating, we are updating this. So you saw that activity indicator for a fraction of second, then the price got updated. That means this thing is working. And let's add one more product now, product 3 with some price of 52.25 and create products. So that was there. So edit, delete and creation is working, but you see one issue here. When we click on this edit, these values got populated, but this create product, this button text, it should be changed to update product to display the correct state of this button. So for this, we have two options. Either we can have property for this, one observable property, so we can have it in this view model, let's say the button text, or we can handle it using the triggers, the data trigger on this button. So let's use the data trigger on this button. So we have this button, let's use this. So we'll use triggers for this button triggers. We are using data trigger because we need a dynamic binded property for this. So this is going to be a data trigger, and target type is going to be our button, and the binding we need binding. This we need again binding of operating product dot id. If this id's value is 0, then we'll set the property text to the value create product. Okay, in this case, let's have a default value as update product. So default is update product. and we had added this trigger. So whenever the ID's value, the operating product.id's value is going to be 0, it is going to show us the text create product. So let's test it out. So now it is update product, and if we update it, now we have this create product, and if we update it, we have update product. So now we need a button to create a product to reset this thing. So for that, if you remember the final output I showed you, we had one button here, that toolbar item basically. So let's go to the top and add a toolbar item here. So we'll have the content page dot toolbar items, and in this we are going to have a item toolbar item, and the text is going to be, now text is going to be add product. And for this we'll use command, and the command we are taking is set operating product command, and we are not passing any uh, product for this, any parameter for this. So if we do not pass any parameter, in that case it comes null, and when this is null, so this is going to be set a empty constructor, the default value for this product. So this is will show us the create product option. Fine. Now one thing is, if you remember on iOS, this the title, it defaultly it is visible in middle of the screen, then these two overlaps. So for that we'll use uh, dynamic value for this text, platform specific value. So for that, let's have it something like on platform, on platform. So the default value is going to be this one, what we have. But for iOS, we'll simply show a plus button. That's all we need to show. And I think this is working fine now. And okay, let's try this. We are in update product mode. If we click on add product, and this got changed. Create product, update product with these values populated, and if we delete, there are no products found. Okay, and we need to handle this case as well. We deleted those products, but we have this update product, and if we'll try to update this, are we going to have some error? Yes, we are going to have this error. And now we can see this activity indicator, and this thing was also working. Updating product, where is this updating product? This is here. Let's add these, and then we need to handle this case if that item does not exist in the database. So that means if we are updating it, so before updating, we'll need to check what was, okay, let's say, let's continue this time. Let's rerun the app. Is here. Let's create a product ABC with some random price, create product, have it in edit mode. Now delete this product, and now we try to update this product. We are here, we are here, and we continued from here, and this must have returned false for this time. Okay, so for that, now it will throw exception, so we'll check it here. If this return true, then only we'll do all this. If that's not the case, we'll simply show an alert message here and return from here. So we'll say that let's have error only, and for the message we'll say product updation error. Fine, let's rerun the app and let's see how this case looks now. Okay, the app is here. Let's again add a product, create, edit, and now delete, and now update. Error, product updation error. So we should be good now. So in this case, we'll click on this add product. Now we are in add product mode, and now let's have a product one. Let's fill some products. Okay, we missed the price, so we'll be having 10.90. Added a product. Next product, product 2, random price, create 2 items, product 3, 100, create. So everything is working, right? And all these operations are being handled on inside. The data is originating from the SQLite database. So we have these 3 items, product 1, 2, 3, 100, 520, 100. So we can verify it. Let's stop the app. Let's open this app from here. So we have this mouse equal. It should show those 3 products. So we have these 3 products, right? So everything is working fine. We can delete these, we can delete the items, and so that's all for this video. So we in previous video, in the first part, we implemented the backend code behind basically the setup and configuration of SQLite, creating this model and this database wrapper and this products view model. And in this, we mostly worked on UI and some runtime exceptions. And we had to add this product explicitly and this tag in property group explicitly to run it. So finally, we have everything is in running mode. So that's all for this video. Like this video, share this video, and subscribe my channel if you like my content. And I'll be back with some other video very soon. Bye bye.